you are one of the people who still doesn't know what Genesis is, then you probably should, especially if you are in the market for a mid-size premium SUV. So I'm going to introduce you. Genesis GV80, meet all the people who don't know you. All the people who don't know you, this is the GV80 from Genesis. I think y'all gonna like each other.
Genesis was born from Hyundai in the same way premium brands Lexus and Acura came from Toyota and Honda respectively. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it here, Genesis is doing premium just a little bit better than those established brands, which is why you need to know about them.
The quickest way to tell about a luxury car is how it looks. It's really important. While the overall shape of the GV80 is not really groundbreaking, it has some details on it that really do make it stand out. This double dash lighting feature on it always makes it super recognizable. I love the colors that Genesis uses. I think they're classy and elegant. One gripe I have is this oversized, kind of bloated grille. But other than this, I truly believe that this is a very handsome vehicle.
If you're interested in something sportier, Genesis did just show off the GV80 Coupe, which is more athletic and powerful looking with its sloped roofline and should be available as a 2025 model later this year.
The story gets even better when you get inside. Everything in here feels so special, so expensive. Look at the materials. This beautiful leather, there's excellent stitching. The details are great. You can get optional quilted seats, which are always lovely and just scream luxury. No, I did not plan on matching the interior, but I'm such a sucker for a blue interior. This, I think, is absolutely spectacular. Designers for Genesis, when they put details in their concepts, they really tend to show up in their actual finished products, and that should just make everybody absolutely thrilled. It's beautiful in here.
There's enough digital where you need it, but still, there also exist physical buttons to not pull your focus from the road. Switchgear feels substantial, and even their clicks sound good. Every sense is being spoken to, well, except maybe taste. I'm not licking steering wheels, sorry.
You do get some excellent tech and interfaces here. This digital gauge cluster is customizable. You get a 14.5-inch screen. Yeah, it's a touch screen, but when you're driving, that is way too far away. So you also have this dial to control it with. The only thing that is a problem for me is it's basically the same size, the same shape as your gear shifter. And there have been a couple times when I've tried to reach for this and I've reached for this and vice versa. So be careful of that. Take some getting used to. You'll get wireless charging for your phone. You do not get wireless smartphone connectivity. That is something that Hyundai and Genesis have got to figure out. Clearly this is not the base model, but on that base model you do get some really nice amenities.
On the base model, you'll get leatherette seats that get power adjustability and heat, a heated steering wheel, navigation with that massive screen, and some wood trim. A couple of tech things that really stand out to me. I love the weather graphics on the home screen. They definitely get it right. Rearranging your apps on the menu is easy, and there aren't too many of them like on BMWs that you're overloaded. I also appreciate the rear-facing camera that comes on when you put on your turn signals. It gives you added verification of your blind spot. And speaking of, blind spot alerts happen in the gauge cluster right in front of you, not just in your side mirror. Those are some great and thoughtful adds.
So obviously this is a mid-size car. I'm going to fit pretty well in this and be pretty comfortable. One thing I am going to say though, right out of the gate, this seat the cushion is very long. Great for people who have long legs. I'm not those people. So even with this retracted all the way back, it is a little bit, it's a little uncomfortable for me because it's hitting the back of my calves. Danger would love this, but I am not Danger. Other than that, lots of adjustability here, very comfortable support, adjustable bolsters, which is great because you can kind of hug yourself in or not, in whichever way you're driving. It's perfect. You can adjust your steering wheel, telescoping, tilting, all of the T words. It's great. Plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom. So behind me, also obviously we're going to be just fine. That beeping means the key's not in the car, sorry. Tons of room here. Actually, this is one of the better in the class for second row legroom, which is fantastic. Headroom as well is really nice. Oh look, a little mirror. The Alcantara back here is gorgeous. There's an armrest back here for your captain's chairs. So there's no center seat. I can't swing over into this. But if you do check out over here, if you can come on in here, if this is someone who's a little bit taller and sitting there, then you're kind of a little bit cramped in this room. This is what I love about this, is you can move their seat forward if they're being super rude and not getting it. This has an optional third row, but we don't have it in this. And I think there's a reason why they don't put the optional third row in the press car, is because you guys, I think it would be really, really cramped back here. I'll show you. And I think if you had the optional third row, this is just for kids. This is not for a sort of normal sized adult. I think you are better with the two-row combination. You could put people back here like this, I guess. Strap them down with the net.
From the driver's seat, you're in for a pleasant experience too. There are two engine options for the GV80. The first is a turbocharged 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder. It makes 300 horsepower, and it certainly feels adequate on this SUV.
But if performance is important to you, you may want to level up to the 3.5-liter V6, which is a twin turbo, and that gets you 75 more horsepower. I'm in that car right now, and yeah, as soon as you're putting your foot on the throttle, you're feeling it.
Except for that little bit of turbo lag, this engine feels good. It pulls nicely, and it has some lively pop to it. For a daily driver, you could do some fun driving in this. As for stopping, I like the brake feel a lot too. You get substantial 14.9-inch rotors with the bigger engine. Those are optional on the 2.5T. You also get upgraded 4-piston ventilated discs with that V6. And like I said before, if you're interested in something sportier, then hang around for that GV80 Coupe, which will feature a 48-volt electric supercharger on the V6 that will give you 409 horses.
The ride quality has gotten a little bit of an upgrade. I honestly never had a problem with the way that it felt before. I think it's very comfortable, not super floaty the way that a Buick is, but definitely more kind of like a Mercedes. Like I said, not sure that it needed it, but Genesis has refined it even more nonetheless.
I think it handles itself well around turns. I didn't feel any torque steer coming out of them. Body roll is minor. Overall, the GV80 feels like a well-sorted machine.
All-wheel drive comes standard on both of those engine options, so you do get a little bit more grip at all four corners, whether you're driving in a spirited fashion or you're just driving in inclement weather. You do also get an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is more than capable, and you do get different drive modes as well. And I think there's something to note here. If you adjust it, the car will use the bolsters around here and kind of adjust around your body, so these are adaptable. So when you are taking turns in a more spirited fashion, it will actually hold you in, as well as really make the throttle a lot more responsive. So the second I will press down on it here in a second, when I get this light to change for me, it will absolutely feel like it's kind of exploding off of the line. Ooh. You really feel that weight transfer, and bam, you're gone.
There were a couple of times in sport mode specifically that I braked hard, then I hit the gas hard, and the transmission felt like it hung up a little bit for a second on itself. You do have paddle shifters to select the gears on your own, and if you're out having some fun in canyons, this might be a better option.
As far as other things that you may not notice right out of the gate, but over time you probably will. Visibility is pretty good in here. I can really see quite nicely. As far as road noise goes, I can hear a little bit, but overall it's very quiet and very peaceful in here. A couple of things that I've noticed while being in this car: I love how the turn signal sounds. It just sounds expensive to me. I know that sounds silly, but all of those little details to me really mean a lot.
Something else you don't think about every day except when you need it? Safety. Features including adaptive cruise control, blind spot collision avoidance, lane departure warnings, lane keeping assist, and lane following assist all come standard.
Some of these systems can feel a little bit intrusive, not so with Hyundai's. I think it's very refined. It doesn't jerk you all over the road. And, I think when you're on a longer trip and you're looking to maybe relax a little bit, then I think they're really good systems to have, provided you've got really solid lines and you're actually still paying attention, because it ain't hands-free.
If you are headed on a long trip and you need to bring some stuff with you, there's 84 cubic feet of cargo space behind the first row. And with the second row up, you're looking at 34.9 cubic feet. Gas mileage is another consideration, and the EPA doesn't give the GV80 insanely great marks. I'd love to see a hybrid here, maybe even a plug-in hybrid, which would really set the GV80 apart from its competitors.
Speaking of competitors, there are plenty.
The Mercedes-Benz GLE, BMW's X5, both the Audi Q7 and Q8, the Volvo XC90, Acura's MDX, the QX60 from Infiniti, yes, they are still a thing, and the RX and even the new TX from Lexus all compete in the same category for your hard-earned dollar.
Speaking of those dollars, there was a time when I would have been able to tell you that the starting price of the GV80 was about $10,000 less than some of those competitors, especially the Germans. I can no longer say that, because the base price of the GV80 is exactly the same as that of the GLE.
However, you do get more for your money with Genesis. When it comes to the Japanese brands, yes, you're paying a little bit more for the GV80, but you're also getting more. A 2.5-liter Prestige starts at $70,800, which is not chump change. For the base V6, you're looking at $66,200, but that number can get up to $83,100 if you opt for the Prestige Signature. So yes, while you will save a little money comparably, the higher up you go the ladder, pricing definitely stays in lockstep with the more expensive brands, making the GV80 a value if you stay in the lower part of their spectrum.
All of that notwithstanding, we do still think that the GV80 is a good buy. We even named it a Kelley Blue Book Best Buy. So if you're in the market for one, click on the link above. Kelley Blue Book can help you find a fair purchase price.
Is luxury relative? What about class and good taste? Do you need to have been around a long time, have a storied history to be luxurious, or is new money smarter money? I feel as though I could make an argument for each.
Genesis has come a long way in a short period of time, and they have always presented excellent credentials when it comes to design, performance, and yes, even value, relatively speaking. Look, if you're not well acquainted with the GV80, but you're in the market for a premium SUV, I've done my job. Now it's up to you. Go check them out.